What's going on, everybody? This is Alex Caramanos, and you're watching the Hoops with Us podcast. This is episode 1. Today, I'm going to be diving into some questions that people from my Twitter page have asked me that they need answers to. I'm going to be addressing the coronavirus pandemic and how it's affecting the basketball world, and I'm going to be addressing some other basketball related topics. Like I said in the introduction, my name is Alex Caramanos. I'm from Kingston, New York. Started this podcast and my Twitter page, Recruiting AK. You can go ahead and follow that on Twitter, all caps. I started these because I'm just in love with the game. I love everything about basketball. I've been playing basketball from a very young age, and now that my playing days are over, I don't want to give up my love for the game now and just drop it. So I decided to pick this up as a new hobby and in the future maybe make this a profession of mine. I played Division III basketball at Hilbert College in Hamburg, New York. And before attending that school, I attended Ulster County Community College. They're a Division II JUCO school, which we reached the national tournament in. We were the 16th seed. Great experience my whole life with basketball. Like I said, from a very young age. I just fell in love with the game and never looked back. Kept my playing days going for as long as I could until they unfortunately came to an end. I know I'm not going to the NBA or I'm not trying to go overseas or anything, but I am continuing this passion of mine through the game through a different aspect, and that is the recruiting process, getting information out to people on who transfers where, who commits where, who picks up offers from where. So I'm hoping that me doing this gives fans of college basketball, of high school basketball, even NBA basketball, I hope it gives them a source. So now that the introduction is out of the way and you guys got to know me a little bit better, I want to dive into some questions that some people have asked me on Twitter, on my Twitter page. So the first person that asked me some questions is Tim Cook. Tim Cook is one of the first people that I talked to during my process of preparing and first getting started with my recruiting page. He is the NAIA head coach at Life Pacific University. He has 24 years coaching experience, even played 5 years semi-pro. He's a great guy, always fun to talk to, gives me knowledge on what I can do better. And his son, Austin Cook, is also a great prospect, just graduated high school, looking for a place. Great shooter. From what I've seen, he's a great shooter, great player, great kid. So yeah, Tim Cook asked me some questions that he wanted me to dive into. Great questions. And yeah, so the first one that he asked me was, how does not having possible viewing periods change the climate of recruiting? The coronavirus obviously has affected all live periods for coaches to go scout players that they want to offer to be with their program. Uh, Actually sucks, man. Like, these kids aren't even going to be able to get seen by anybody. The only way that they're going to be able to be recruited for the time being is sending film. Coaches aren't going to be able to attend these live periods to watch these kids in person. That was one of the first things that popped in my head was these coaches aren't going to be able to see these kids in person. If I'm a coach, I can watch all the film that I want to watch. I can dig into their film, as much film as they send me, but I'm not able to actually see the player in person. And that's a big thing to me. You're not able to see their tendencies on the court. Like in film, people are going to send their best highlights from the season, whether it's scoring, defense, rebounding, anything. But actually seeing a player in person can tell you a lot more than just watching the film. Yeah, like I said, only seeing film is not enough. Like for me, I think you actually have to see these players in person. Um, Not being able to see how they carry themselves on and off the court. For me, if I'm a coach, I don't want some kid that's showboating the whole game, talking smack to the other team. I want a kid that goes into the game, handles his business, does what he needs to do. A lot of these guys nowadays, all people really want to see is scoring, but that's not even half of the game. You got to be a dog on both ends of the floor. You got to rebound. So, and how they handle adversity too. If a player is not handling adversity, if their team is down and they're sobbing, putting their head down, getting on other teammates, nothing's their fault. I don't want a guy like that in my program. I want a guy that's going to get his guys together when adversity hits and weather the storm, get their guys back together and see what they can do to come back and win a game. I want to also see how they handle defeat. If they can't handle defeat in a respectable way, then I don't want a guy like that. I want a guy that knows, all right, today wasn't our day and the other team got the best of us. So that's my view on the possible viewing periods being canceled and how it changes the climate of recruiting. Biggest thing to me is coaches being able to see these kids in person, being able to talk to these kids in person, seeing if they're respectable, seeing if they are all around just a good kid. Another question that Tim asked me was, with the mega influx of the transfer portal, where does this translate to all levels in their recruiting? So the transfer portal, to me, I think it's great. If a kid doesn't like the program that they're in, if he's having issues on or off the court, he can enter the transfer portal and find a home that's better for him. Gives teams options of players with college basketball experience. So, kid, freshman year, doesn't have the year that he wants to. There's issues going on off the court. It's just something in that area, and he wants to leave the program. He can enter the transfer portal and try and find a new home. If I'm a coach, this is great for me because this kid already has college basketball experience. He knows how the game works. Some freshmen come into programs and they're thinking it's a walk in the park. College basketball, Division I, Division II, Division III, NAIA, it's a whole different ball game. Kids are faster, kids are stronger, kids are just honestly more skilled. And I know this playing college basketball myself. It's a whole different game. Some kids are actually just monsters out there. It's just crazy. You can't think it's a walk in the park. You got to get in the gym. You got to work. You got to be ready for this time when it comes for college basketball. And like I said, some of these freshmen, they just think it's easy. They think they're just going to go in there from scoring 20 points a game in high school to go to college and do the same thing. It's not going to happen. You're going to have different roles on your team. You're going to have guys that are seniors or upperclassmen that are above you. You're not just going to come in and start right away unless you're a all-around great player. So that's what I think. I think it's great for the transfer portal to get guys with college experience so that they know the game already. They know what to be expected, and it's just great. And it gives teams a chance to get something that they are losing. So say a senior guard, leading scorer on your team, averages 18 a game, 4 assists, 3 boards. He's leaving, he's graduating, or he's declaring for the draft. You know he's a lottery picker. You know he's going to get drafted. He's been talking to people. You know he's going to leave. You can bring in one of these transfer guys, like I said, that have the college basketball experience and can help your program build off the loss of one of your better players. So, player that has had college experience, that has played in games, that has lived the college life of going to class, going to practice, weight room, all that. He knows this already, unlike an incoming freshman that has none of this experience. So that's another great thing that the transfer portal brings to the table. I think it's great. I think it gives kids another shot, like I said, if they don't feel right at the place that they're at. And it gives kids another chance. Some kids think that they don't find the right home. They think it's the right home when they commit there, and they just want to give up. But once you enter the transfer portal, you can find a better place for you. People that still care for you, still know that you can hoop, and it's awesome. I just think the transfer portal, all in all, is just a great idea. All right, so I got a couple more questions from a good friend of mine, Jared Ginther. He wants to know about Syracuse and why a bunch of their kids are entering the transfer portal. And in my opinion, I think it's that they aren't buying into Jim Boeheim's program. I think that there may be some issues off the court. I'm not really sure. This is just what I think. Everyone knows the legendary coach Jim Boeheim runs his famous 2-3 defense most of the time. And maybe these kids don't like that. Maybe they aren't getting the minutes they want. But I'm not really sure what the deal is with that. I just hope these kids that are in the transfer portal, such as Howard Washington, I hope they find the right place and get some minutes and show the college basketball world what they can really do. Another question he asked me about Elijah Hughes. Elijah Hughes led the ACC in scoring this year. Easily Syracuse's best player. I actually got a chance to play against Elijah a couple times when I was younger, and he's got it all. 6'5" guard, can really shoot the ball, can dribble, can get to the rim whenever he wants. His pull-up game is spectacular, and they're losing him this year. He just declared for the draft. He'll definitely get drafted. I'm excited for him and see what he can do in the league. Another question he wanted to know about Dion Johnson. Will he come to Cuse or go straight to the NBA if that is eligible by then? I think that Dion Johnson will attend Syracuse. He really fits their program. He can get his players involved. He plays tremendous defense, brings energy to the team. He's just a great kid. Uh, he's also a Kingston kid. From where I'm from, he attended Mayfair High School this past year with one of the top recruits in class of 2020, Josh Christopher, and they were almost unstoppable, both of them. I think Josh Christopher averaged 30 points a game, and Dior averaged 23 or 24 or something like that. That duo was awesome to watch. Dior just really has a feel for the game. His court vision is tremendous. He can really get up and down the court. He can rebound well for a guard. He's 6'3" guard. He can shoot the ball. But yeah, I think he is a great fit for Syracuse, and I do think that he will attend Syracuse. He will most likely be a one and done, but I do think that he will attend Syracuse and help coach Jim Boeheim and the Orange win some games once he graduates high school. All right, one topic I want to dive into is the coronavirus and how it canceled the NCAA tournament. Big shock for everyone once this happened, right after the NBA season was canceled. As everyone knows, March is a great time for basketball. Games almost every day. Get to watch games all day, every day until the championship game, and it's just great experience for these kids that get to play in it, and now they don't because of this pandemic that has hit our country. I was watching an interview with Coach John Calipari, who coaches the University of Kentucky, and he was talking about how his players were in the gym. They got off the bus and went straight to the gym after a game, after the SEC tournament, and they played pickup, and that just shows how much these kids really enjoy the game. And in the interview, Coach Calipari said after they were done playing, they just sat and they cried together because some of these kids won't ever put on a Kentucky Wildcats jersey again. I just think that this whole pandemic, it really affects the sports world because so many people are watching sports, are in love with sports, just get joy of sports. And with this being canceled for all basketball fans, it just really hit us all hard. And I think when I listened to this interview that Coach Calipari did, it really just tells you how much these kids are dedicated to their teams, dedicated to their teammates, and dedicated to their schools. Like, it was honestly sad a little bit watching it because I know the work college basketball players put in. They work nonstop, and for that to be taken away from them, it's just sad to see. I wish those guys the best that are graduating from Kentucky this year or entering the draft. Hate for them to go out that way with not being able to even compete in the tournament because of this, but it happens. You can't do anything about it. It's for the best for people to stay healthy, and I hope that these kids get a shot in the NBA and show that they can really play, because that Kentucky Wildcats team this year was actually very fun to watch. They had Ashton Hagans, Emmanuel Quickly, Tyrese Maxey, Nick Richards finally came out of his shell. He was struggling, but they figured him out. They got him right, and he was really performing well. But we're not going to be able to see any NCAA basketball this year. All right, guys. So that's it for episode 1 of Hoops with Us. If you would like and subscribe to my channel, I'll be releasing more podcasts as the days come, since we are in quarantine right now. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope I gave you guys some new information of stuff you didn't know about in the basketball world. More new information will come, more new questions will come, and talk to you guys soon. Thanks a lot, guys.